Hello, everybody. So, this is our 41st book club discussion, and that makes me so happy as to see the numbers increasing every time. And so, I think by before this year ends, we are going to finish 42 books together. And so happy to have you all join me. And this time, we are discussing Han Cam's The Vegetarian. So we'll see a little bit about the author and about the book. I didn't want to dwell too much into it because it's more of a recent read. We'll also look at the historical and social significance of this work, some other related works which have inspired her, and which also has a similar kind of theme, the literary style of the book, themes, a few questions for you all, and some quotes from the book. So Han Kang is a South Korean author. She studied Korean literature at Yonsei University. She initially started off writing poetry and short stories, and she says that both these forms are considered as much stronger forms than novels in the tradition of Korean literature. She won the Yi Sang Literary Prize in 2005, the 2000 Today's Young Artist Award, and the Korean Literature Novel Award. After all this, she wrote The Vegetarian in 2007, and following its translation and publication in English by Deborah Smith in 2015, Han won the Man Booker Prize. And in 2024, that is this year, she was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature. This was a first for an Asian woman and for a Korean. Han teaches creative writing at the Seoul Institute of the Arts. So, something special about The Vegetarian was that it took her actually 4 years to write the book. She wrote the book entirely by hand, and she had some severe joint problems. So she took a very long time to write the book. And it's also said the whole obsession of Han's work with vegetarianism and with humans as plants started with a line which she read in college. So this line was from the poet Yi Sang, and it said, "I believe that humans should be plants," and this was a clear source of inspiration for much of her work, including The Vegetarian. So this is the words spoken by Han about The Vegetarian, and this was her speech during the Booker Prize, winning ceremony. I think this novel has some layers, questioning human violence and the impossibility of innocence, defining sanity and madness, the possibility or impossibility of understanding others, body as the last refuge or the last determination, and some more. It will be inevitable that different aspects are more focused on by different readers and cultural backgrounds. If I could say one thing, this novel isn't a singular indictment of the Korean patriarchy. I wanted to deal with my long lasting questions about the possibility and impossibility of innocence in this world, which is mingled with such violence and beauty. So these are universal questions that occupied me as I wrote it. So some historical and social significance of the book is this of takes place in modern day Seoul. The society in modern day Seoul is rooted in conservative Korean values. So traditionally, Korean family hierarchies emphasize patriarchal authority, wherein a husband or the father exhibits dominance and kindness in exchange for obedience and love. I think we can even exchange Korean family for Asian family because possibly that's how it's in most of Asia. So, Korean families are also seen as a unit, and the impact of an individual can have ramifications on the perception of the family as a whole. So, the remnants of these dynamics are felt in The Vegetarian, wherein Mr. Chong and the rest of Yong Hee's family see her choice to be a vegetarian as disobedient and a poor reflection on the entire family. So, modern day Seoul, okay, outside the pages of this story, also, vegetarianism in Korea is on the rise, but it is still largely viewed as a niche diet, and it is very difficult to maintain as most dishes in Korea include some kind of fish or meat And there is some confusion about what vegetarians do or do not eat in Korea. So, one of the ways in which this makes social life difficult, as is seen in The Vegetarian, is the ability to have social meals. So, as ordering food to be shared among all diners is the norm at restaurants in Korea. And this is how it's even in India for that matter. So, this is viewed as a communal bonding opportunity and is one of the reasons that Yong Hee's decision not to eat any dish with meat is viewed with such distaste by Mr. Chong's co-workers when they go out to dinner. So now to proceed, some other related works which influenced Han and also which carry a very similar theme. Our Han wrote a short story called The Fruit of My Woman in 1997, which tells the story of a woman who had turned into a plant. And this was an image which she then used as an inspiration for The Vegetarian. Also, another book which is related to is the Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis, which is when a man wakes up one morning to discover that he has transformed into a giant insect. I think this is also one other book which we should read in the book club. It's supposed to be very good. A Hunger Artist is again Franz Kafka's book, which tells the tale of a performance artist who is put in a cage and people observe his starvation. And then he starts resenting when he is being made to eat at the end of his fast, and he feels very deeply misunderstood. Also, South African author's book, Seridbin Dovie's 2007 novella called Bloodkin, also follows three protagonists, each of whom are obsessed with the consumption of other living beings. And then we have another connection, which was with the Herman Melville's short story, which is called Bartleby the Scrivener, which is an account of a man who works at a dead letter office, and gradually he performs fewer and fewer tasks before he even stops eating, which is another task which he finds, and then he dies of starvation. Um, when it comes to contemporary works about Korean families' attempts to understand each other, there's this book called Kyung Suk Shin's Please Look After Mom, which is also another famous book from Korea. I just wanted to mention these other books because some of them have proven to be inspiration for the vegetarian. And yeah, so that's one of the reasons I wanted to mention it. Now, coming to the literary style of the book, I think it's a very beautifully written book with very vivid imagery. And another special part of this book is that it was published as in three sections in Korea. So it wasn't published as one novel initially. So it came out as a series in three different parts, which is why the first section is narrated in first person by Mr. Chong. And then you have the second, which is narrated in third person from the perspective of the brother-in-law. And we never know the name of the brother-in-law at all. And the third section is narrated in third person from the perspective of In Hai. Now, on one hand, the book seems to be very simply written, but actually the author has expertly woven various techniques to capture and to keep our attention. So initially, we have an unreliable narrator in the first section, where you have this, Mr. Chong, when he says, I really didn't have a clue when it came to this women. And then his feelings of showing utter lack of empathy. He doesn't seem to have any love in the marriage. It's completely a transactional marriage. All this makes us wonder if he's really as bad as he comes across, or what kind of a character is she. And we also start wondering about, is this woman as bad as what he makes her out to be? So which is why he's an unreliable narrator. And then we have vivid imagery in the remaining part of the book. We have descriptions of nature, of trees. But one thing which stands out is a description of people. So most of the characters, the way they are so, interestingly woven into the story, they stay in your mind and you can understand their character for quite some time. So, for example, you have these description of these people, like the family members, each of them, how the brother reacts, how the sister reacts, how the father is. Only through narrative we can understand that descriptions also, and also the patients in the hospital, how each patient behaves, how do they walk, how do they come? How do they interact with each other? Another interesting part of this book is the use of the the literary device called analepsis, which is uh, analepsis is a literary device in narrative in which a past event is narrated at a point later than in its chronological pace in history, in the story, sorry. And that's exactly what happens in the third section with Inhai. And this internal analysis is which she keeps thinking about all that's happened in the past, keeps introspecting if she could have done something. So that'd been a time when she could spend hours like this, weighing up all the variables that might have contributed to determining Yong Hai's fate. So before we go into themes, I just wanted to put these two questions here, and then I'll stop the screen share and we can have a discussion. So the vegetarian has been described as a parable, one that comments on the need to conform as well as social expectations within Korea. Although the author herself says the book's themes are universal. So what did you feel when you read Han Kang's novel? Did you find it as a critic of society? And did you feel that Yong Hai's personal act was something so rebellious? Also, much of the novel is concerned with the male gaze, which serves as a commentary on the abuse and violence women often suffer at the hands of men. And in this book, we see both the women suffering at the hands of the people whom they marry. So, in what ways does the novel challenge gender roles? To what extent is The Vegetarian a feminist novel or a feminist critique of patriarchy? So, I'd love to hear from you.
May I say something?
Yes,
Yeah.
please, Mel.
So, I have been reading some articles which are reviews by critics, and in one of those article, I read this something very interesting that this is supposed to be an eco-feminist novel. Now, ecofeminism is a concept which talks about a close relationship between women and nature. And what Han Kang has done is she has drawn parallels between the oppression of women and compared it to the oppression of nature.
Hmm.
And that's why this whole this theory of ecofeminism here.
Hmm.
So the way this protagonist, that is Yong Hai, she undergoes, the disintegration of her whole persona, her person, uh, uh, both as a woman and as a vegetarian. And I mean, her refusal to eat meat, she jeopardizes her life because of that. And it brings not just physical pain, but also, psychological pain and spiritual distress and all that, to the point that finally she decides to become a tree. So that is what Han Kang has shown, that how man even exploits nature,
Hmm.
just as the patriarchal society, exploits women.
Correct. That is a very nice quote in the book. In the which I had taken out and kept, which is speaks about exactly what you just told us. I'll just share it with you. 1 minute.
And after that, I'm so sorry, I'll have to leave my guests.
No, no problem, no problem. So there's this quote where she says that I just was going to talk about that. 1 minute, sorry. It's where she talks about how the mm, I think there is that thing where she says the trees seem to be, I'm just trying to see. It's a very beautiful quote which I had put up, and sorry, just a minute. Hmm. Just when I search for it, I will not find it. So there's this thing where she says, the trees. Yeah, I got it. So as they drive, Inhai sees a forest of trees glinting in the sunlight. She looks at them as if waiting for an answer, as if protesting against something. So she compares the trees to women. And just like what you said, Meenal.
Yes.
Yeah. So she compares
Mhm.
them to women. to the trees, and she says they're standing there and patiently and protesting against something.
Yes.
So very nice. Thank you so much for this word. I didn't know this, ecofeminism.
Right.
Thank you. I'll see you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, Meenal.
Maybe few questions come to my mind after I
Yes.
read the book. She has written the book in almost like three novellas.
Mm,
If you take it, one is chapter is independent of the other.
mm.
If you read one after the other or independently, it will be difficult for you to connect these three novellas. That's what I found.
Yeah.
Number two, actually, maybe for whatever reason, one and three I was ready to accept. The second one, that was not that required to be described in so detailed a manner. That's what I felt.
Yeah,
If
it's
she could
quite
have,
disturbing.
yes, it was disturbing and it was divergent, but it was digressing in the main.
Mm, mm,
Okay, all concept was about a leaf, flowers, and body, a painting, and other things. Other than that, there is not much in it. But first
mm,
chapter or first novel and the third one, they're very important. That's what I felt.
mm, mm,
Number, uh, number two, actually, I was thinking of what is the relationship between, I, for instance, she begins with not taking meat.
mm,
Okay. Afterwards, she stops taking food altogether. Okay. And in hospital also, she refuses to be fed through tube. That means she is targeting to annihilate her body. Why actually? What made her to voluntarily, what I call, give up her body? I did not find an answer to it. What's the reason? What is the strong reason? Just because actually her father dominated her.
mm.
You
So
have to
that
eat meat.
kind of, the violence which she faced at that time, I think
Uh,
that is what has led to her poor mental health, probably.
and the beauty is we don't get an answer directly from her.
Yeah.
We know about her from others. This is another technique. She never speaks. Why actually I just had a dream. And the dream was bizarre, non-violent and other things. Is it that just a dream makes her to give up her life?
Mm,
That was one thing I was not able to, or was she trying to, as you said, actually the society was patriarchal. She
mm,
wanted to come out of the domination. Because both, why both, all three people, men in her life were dominating. Her father,
correct.
her husband, and also her brother-in-law were to put. Only she got support from a sister, anyway, in third
Mm,
chapter.
mm,
Ha. The sister also feels guilty that she could not protect her when father was pulling her up. You eat this, you eat that. She thought actually I would have stopped him from doing that. He
mm,
was feeling guilty. Has her silence resulted in the protagonist choosing death? And
mm.
we don't know. In the end, also, it is not clear that he has died. It is a loose ended. They just go away.
Correct. I
That
had
is,
put
there is
that
no,
as a question too. Yeah, it's a very
we
ambiguous
don't know.
end. Mm,
It is ambiguous. We don't
yeah.
know actually for what is the solid and strong reason.
Mm.
One must have solid reason to give up life. If we
I
speak of,
wanted to I have that in the theme as the next theme which we are talking about, Shamil Raoji. I have an answer for you in that. At
acha,
least this is
acha.
what I feel.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. No issue, no issue, no issue.
Shall we?
We'll talk about.
I want to no, I can answer you now, but I wanted to show you the slide, and I want to
Please do.
recommend another read also to you.
Because there are two questions, I think I could answer only part of one. Or
Okay.
just if we can go back to the slide, I will
Yeah, because
refresh
there
my
is
memory.
the whole thing is also connected to that oppression. The way the whole thing of vegetarianism, not eating, losing weight, doing all what she's done to herself is
Yeah.
connected to the oppression, and I'll just tell you how it is.
So one
I'll
more point I would like to add here, madam, actually.
Sure,
So that
please.
it may also get covered in your next.
Sure, sure.
Normally, voluntary death, because we have to look at a book or a story from our point of view. So we are accustomed. In
Mm-hmm.
our country, actually, voluntary death is a religious aesthetic ritual.
Okay.
And it has got a long history in our country.
Mm.
Self-chosen death was there. It is elevated to ideal of devotion. All those things are, in this case, I don't find that spiritual or aesthetic
Yeah, yeah.
difference.
Mm.
That is not there completely. I find whole book is material.
Mm.
Like
Correct.
spirituality and other things, it is a material book. It is not like taking us any spirituality, that type of thing. It is not there.
Definitely
And
not.
for us, voluntary death is a form of devotional expression. Right? That is the
Yeah.
thing, giving up things, all those things we hear. That was
I
I was
think
little.
for her it was a form of protest.
Exactly. You was
Yeah.
protesting for the treatment she has been
Correct.
given by her husband,
Yeah.
father, and society at large. We don't know. Society
Correct.
doesn't figure. Very few characters are there in it.
Yeah.
That was and we never hear from her. What
Mm.
drives her, or it has, what has triggered the feeling in her?
Mm.
Voluntary death.
Correct.
Okay, let's go to the. You are already better than.
No, it's good you pointed that out.
I'm confused, actually. There must be
Yeah.
solid base. Why
Yeah,
not
yeah.
seek death? And somewhere she's dying is beautiful. There is another quote actually somewhere, isn't it? Last,
Mm-hmm.
she voluntarily embraces that.
I wanted to tell you that, actually when I started reading the book, I did not realize that I've actually read it a long time back. And as soon as I started reading, I realized this is a book which I've read before. But between that first read and between this read, which I read now,
Yes, ma'am.
it was a totally different experience, because between this, I had in these years, one of the books which I read was Snow by Oran Pamuk. Have you read
Oran
that
Pamuk.
book?
No, ma'am.
No, you should definitely pick it up,
Oran
Shamil
Pamuk.
Rao.
Yes,
Shamil Rao ji.
yes. He is a
Oran
writer.
Pamuk.
He is. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
What is the name? Name
the
you suggested?
Snow, Snow.
Snow. Yes, yes.
Snow.
Okay.
Okay. The name of the
Fine,
book
fine.
is Snow.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
it's a book where an journalist goes to find out why in a particular town there is a lot of college girls committing suicide.
Okay.
So there is like in so many of them are constantly committing suicide. So he goes to find out about why are they doing that, and that again comes to this bodily agency,
Hmm.
which is why I wanted to tell. And when I feel that reading of Snow, when I started reading this time, when I started reading The Vegetarian, I could understand, I felt.
Okay.
Why is she doing what she's doing?
Then
I
definitely I should go for Snow.
yeah, you should.
Because
It's a
there
wonderful
is
book.
there is vagueness actually. Writing is first class. We say beautiful language. That I must say.
Yeah.
With surgical precision, she has written words and other things. That I endorse. But the message that comes leaves the reader unsettled. That's what I found.
So
there are very many whys actually in it. Anyway, let's proceed.
Yeah. So as I was saying, the themes of bodily autonomy and agency, they feature heavily within The Vegetarian, right from the sexual violence and consent to force feeding, institutionalization and everything.
Yes.
So it's very extremely dark and disturbing. And in fact, some of the reviews call Vegetarian as horror story. They don't call it a literary novel. So like for instance, but the reason I feel why she stopped eating and why she stopped doing everything, even going to that extent of not even wanting to live, is because the only way she has been able to oppose what is happening to her, and the only place which she has some autonomy is her own body. All other kind of freedom has been denied to her. So Inhai watches as they successfully insert the tube. This is from the passage from the book. So, but when they pull out a tranquilizer so that Yonghai can't throw up the food, Inhai rushes into the room and bites a caregiver in the ward who tries to hold her back. Yonghai struggles. Yeah.
Yes.
She throws up blood and has to be transferred to a general hospital immediately.
General hospital.
Yeah. Before they leave, Inhai thinks, It's your body. You can treat it however you please. So in Snow by Orhan Pamuk also, that the same sentence kind of stood out for me. Like it's actually just to give you a small thing about background of that book. It's where the communists have taken over the country. So communists are running the country. So they want to bring new rules into place. Rules like don't wear your parda. So
Okay.
these are
Good.
kids. Yeah. So they are thinking they are doing good for the women. They are giving them freedom. So they say that now the new rule is all college students should stop wearing parda. But
Okay.
these are college kids who have worn a parda right from, maybe they were 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
So for them not to wear a parda into when they move out of their home is extremely disturbing, and they can't do it.
Oh,
So they don't want to. They feel they are in some form of unrest. So they don't want to do that in college. But at the same time, what happens is, if they don't do that, they can't enter the college. And some of these college students have already finished 2 years. They have just one more year to finish their graduation. And they're neither able to go to the college, nor is the college ready to, give them some
accept.
leeway, accept them. So they feel that, so when conservatives are in power, they force you to wear a parda and decide your dress. When communists come into power also, they force you to remove your parda and they have the thing. So nowhere do they have autonomy or agency to decide what they want to wear. So the only place where they have complete freedom is their own body. So and their own life. So they kill themselves.
Okay. Okay.
So it is very
That is
disturbing to read it.
it is a very convincing reason.
Yeah.
Because if you are completely suppressed, you do not have an outlet to express your displeasure. You choose something, maybe it is extreme in the eyes of another, and you go for it. That is what is happened here. Actually. For her, she considers it as normal. For us, it is abnormal, unusual. For her, it is normal.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Correct.
Get hold of this law.
Yeah. So I felt that my understanding of The Vegetarian was much different from the first time that I read it, only because of after reading Snow, I understood how the only way of protesting for a woman has become that what control she has over her body. So
Exactly correct. But
yeah.
one thing that also I understood. For instance, the book is small, 3 chapters.
Yeah.
But it leaves the reader so much to think and so much to draw different conclusions.
Correct.
Because the author has not said this is the position, this is final. So naturally, a reader is left to draw into his own imagination and come up with different conclusions.
True.
For instance, let us put, you said for the reason as far as annihilating your body is concerned because of freedom, patriarchy, and the suppressive nature of our community. Fine. Next question comes. Why actually paintings of flowers appeal to her? And she surrenders before that fellow. What nature? And then, why she finds so much joy in nature is another question. There are other characters. Her own sister is there. That is the thing. And all said and done. What results in this transition from a non-vegetarian to vegetarian? What is the force? Giving up her body, I understood.
Yeah.
That is okay, result.
It's in stages is what I felt. Stages one by one, she does more and more. That's what.
It's a good thing. And language is first class.
Yeah, true.
Written.
Yeah.
Beautifully written.
Yeah.
Please.
I also just wanted to 1 minute. There's Shivi who's joined.
Please.
Yeah. Hi, Shivi. I wasn't sure who this was. Would you like to introduce yourself? She's muted. Yeah, it's okay. I'll just continue. We'll go to the next theme. So, another theme over here is humanity and violence. So, Yonghee, his desire to become a plant is spurred by all the terrible and violent nightmares she has, from which most of the nightmares are basically about how humans are inherently abusive. And she wants to avoid that kind of a life. So Yonghi's self-destructive pursuit of a life as a plant, symbolizes her attempt to escape the rage, the violence and harm which comes from being a human. So there's also a place where she says, I'm no longer an animal. Now I'm a plant. And so through her attempts at escape ultimately proved to be futile, but that's what she wants to feel. She wants to feel, feels that a plant is a more non-violent and a beautiful creature when compared to any animal. So the novel thus argues that humanity is inherently destructive and it is impossible to maintain or reclaim one's innocence as part of this species. Also, Yonghee was the only victim of her father's beatings, and Inhai sees that Yonghee had absorbed all her suffering inside her. So even though Yonghee's decisions throughout the novel are extreme, Inhai understands that her sister's desire to become a plant only represents a means of avoiding the violence that human beings have been commit, and also the violence that human beings have to endure. So Yonghee continues to insist that she doesn't like eating, but the doctors, again, they force feed her, they give her a tranquilizing injection so she doesn't throw up food and all that. So the very violence that Yonghee is trying to avoid committing is again being inflicted on her.
Inflicted.
Yeah. So which
Good
again
observation.
makes her more obstinate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Another theme which I felt was about breaking social conventions. Now, another, like what Shamal Ravji, you had mentioned, the second part felt very differently written and all that. And it was very disturbing also in many places, and
Yes.
unnecessarily, I think, very violent, very graphic and all that.
Exactly,
And
ma'am.
yeah,
It was
but
disturbing.
yeah, but one of the reasons that, the author had such a, thing was to show that the brother-in-law is also not normal. He is also a person who has broken a lot of social conventions. So she wants to show that through both Yonghee's character and the unnamed brother-in-law, that however, when people attempt to break, subvert, or escape the conventions of the society, they're often trapped, ostracized, or sometimes even destroyed by that society. Now, for him also, for her, it is her decision to become a vegetarian, not to wear a bra. All these are seen as an affront to society. And she's not conforming to the standards from it. Now, in here, for her brother-in-law, Inhai is the primary breadwinner, and she is the primary
Yes.
homemaker,
Yes.
which is a very unconventional thing in Korea. So even
Women
other
are
people, yeah. So women are not the head of the family, but here, yeah,
breadwinner.
yes, correct. So here
Okay.
again, his brother-in-law itself, Mr. Chong, he severely, he judges him a lot. So he feels very negative about him. He doesn't do anything. He's just roaming around as an artist. It's she who's managing everything and all that stuff. He says that. And so any unconventional behavior automatically has a negative connotation, and you kind of get shunned by society. And in one way, whatever the brother-in-law does also is a reason of that shunning, is what the author is trying to say. It's his way of probably protesting also against society, but his way of also taking advantage of Yonghee also in a manner. So at the end of the novel, Inhai tries to care for Yonghee, even as Inhai's life crumbles around her. She acknowledges that what her husband and sister had done smashed through all the boundaries of society. She even recognizes the appeal of doing so. So she also says that, when she takes Yonghee to the another hospital, she says, perhaps this is all a kind of dream. I have dreams too, dreams.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I could not let myself dissolve into them and let them take me over.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
It's more practical.
yeah. So she says that she tries to find some peace in the idea that the limitations of reality and society are not real, and which may be escapable at any time. But do you really need to escape that? And what are the consequences of escaping that? So she also says, she quickly turns back on the idea. She says, surely the dream isn't all that there is. We have to wake up at some point, don't we? And
I point slightly. She
yeah,
says
sure.
these things to a person
Yeah,
who do not know whether she is hearing or not hearing.
yeah,
It
true.
almost sounded like a soliloquy to me. She was
Yeah,
speaking to herself. As you
correct.
just said, the technique you have said, analysis. So that
Yeah,
it is an example analysis. Because at present, actually, she is not in the position or record her expression.
mm,
That's what I felt. She was speaking to herself.
yeah. In fact, a lot of that third part reminded me of Anna Karenina's,
Exactly.
yeah, her own
Exactly.
thoughts which go on just before her death.
Uh, 5, 6 pages. That was
Yeah, exactly.
beautifully written. And in
True,
the
true.
third chapter, most touching moment is actually she goes like her sister. She also wants to commit suicide, but I did,
Correct.
and she
Mm,
comes back to her
yeah,
son. That was very touching. I really liked it.
yeah.
Ah,
Very, very
she come,
beautifully written.
very
Yeah.
beautifully written, and language is wonderful. Very
Mm,
touchy the
yeah.
sequence.
Somehow I
Okay.
felt probably even maybe Tolstoy influenced Han Kang because Hans seems to be she seems to like Russian authors. So and she even says Dostoevsky is one of her favorite authors. So I thought
Ah,
probably Tolstoy's Anna Karenina also somewhere
ah,
influenced her to write such a beautiful the third part, where
exactly.
again it's a son who's left behind, but unlike Anna Karenina, Inhai takes a different decision. Yeah.
It comes back. That's what is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there is no story at all. And
Mm,
similarly, when you speak of Anna Karenina Tolstoy, I felt
mm.
actually Gabriel Marquez also is there. That magical.
Yeah.
He also, that is also is there.
True.
Magical realism.
Mm,
He becoming a plant
yeah.
and
Correct.
artist vision. Then in
Yeah.
his dreams.
Yeah. Right.
There is an element of magical realism also in the book, man.
Right. So I also felt there's this question, what is sanity was an underlying thing in the entire book. What is really sanity? What is really insanity? So Inhai feels guilty about Yonghye's condition and wonders what she could have done to prevent it. But she is also in some ways jealous of Yonghai's ability to simply shuck off social constraints. So Jimwoo, her son, is the only thing which keeps her tethered to reality. Even
Yes,
when she was still with her husband, she thought often of ways to harm herself or kill herself. She walks into the mountains, intending to completely abandon her family, but she decides to return. And
Rita.
so, uh, you know, uh, so that probably that underlying thing of insanity is there in everyone, for that matter. What is really insanity?
In
Uh,
human character, these two
yeah,
sisters.
correct.
Yeah.
So she thinks that if it were not for Jim Woo, she might have gone mad as well. He's the only thing that can make her laugh. And when he sees that he makes her happy, he tries even more to please her. This is the
Lisa.
passage from the book only.
Yes,
But
yes,
when
yes.
she is alone, she imagines Yonghai, the forest, and the trees, wishing that they would call to her and take her life from her. Yeah. Yeah, so this is another thing, I think what Meenal had just mentioned, the ecofeminism part of the
Uh,
book,
that
which
is
I
a
had wanted
good
to
phrase.
mention.
I was not here. I was not aware of it.
Yeah. So in the ambulance on the way to the general hospital, Inhai confesses to Yonghai that she has dreams too. But at some point, a person has to wake up. And when she drives, they show the forest of trees. She sees a forest of trees glinting in the sunlight. She looks at them as if waiting for an answer, as if protesting against something. So she compares the trees to women. And she says, as if they're just standing there patiently, waiting for an answer. They're protesting against something. And I thought it was I never knew this word ecofeminism, which Meenal had mentioned. It's very nice
Yes,
to,
yes, yes, yes. I
yeah, a
kept a
nice
note of
word.
it. We'll
Yeah,
find out some more books if they are there.
right. Again, this was the same thing which I had mentioned. Inhai runs to the bathroom and vomits. She washes her face thinking, it's your body. You can treat it however you please. The only area where you're free to do just as you like.
Like,
Yeah. She looks at her face in the mirror and does not recognize herself. She's steeped in guilt, having admitted Yonghai to this fault. Yeah. And So one more question was, the novel ends on a very ambiguous note. What do you envision as the outcome? What do you think happens to Yong Hai?
The way story progress, the way her health progress, naturally death is imminent.
Yeah.
But what social message or what change that can bring in, that is questionable. We don't know. She has sacrificed her life for her principles, for her belief, her idea of freedom from the patriarchal society. She did this.
Yeah.
But I don't think it brings any change. One character gone over, we are finding several things like that.
Correct.
Even when they uphold to it highest of principles, of, it never really, it remains a theory only. That's what I felt. And it goes, one side. The other side is actually it's possible she recovers in better hospital, better treatment, he comes back to society. That is why the author has left us open-ended. That's what I felt. She didn't conclude.
Yeah.
And we don't know why she has not concluded. She didn't give any idea for that.
I think probably I don't know, I feel maybe she felt showing her dead or something would be very disturbing probably to the reader. At least this gives some hope or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As such, this book is a very disturbing book. I was
Yeah.
not comfortable.
Yeah.
All the morbid, death, hospital, all those things.
Sorry.
Maybe if you wanted to end up, leave it to the indie reader. Let him work on his imagination. Let him come to his own conclusion. That is one type of writing, Naveda.
Correct. Right.
Yes.
I have some quotes also from the book. Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah. The feeling that she had never really lived in this world caught her by surprise. It was a fact. She had never lived. Even as a child, as far back as she could remember, she had done nothing but endure. She had believed in her own inherent goodness, her humanity, and lived accordingly, never causing anyone harm. Her devotion to doing things the right way had been unflagging. All her successes had depended on it, and she would have gone on like that indefinitely. She didn't understand why, but faced with those decaying buildings and straggling grasses, she was nothing but a child who had never lived.
Lovely. Yes.
Why is it such a bad thing? Why is it such a bad thing to die?
Bad thing to die? No, silence actually. It is not at all bad to die. It's normal. This is the sentence I was trying to recollect.
Yeah. Time was a wave, almost cruel in its relentlessness, as it whisked her life downstream, a life she had to constantly strain to keep from breaking apart. She was a good woman, he thought, the kind of woman whose goodness is oppressive. Again, this I felt for the brother-in-law. He says about his wife, she's a good woman, but the kind of woman whose goodness is oppressive, because however good she is, it would contrast him and show him in a bad light, right? So one way I thought he was feeling that.
And he was not brave. He tempted to like a coward. Like he runs and goes and jumps into the other stuff. He was not a strong personality. That's what I said. Maybe artistic and other things. He never took responsibility of his family, of his wife. Because he managed his job. He is the breadwinner. This man moves around.
Yeah.
He was weak.
She was no longer able to cope with all that her sister reminded her of. She'd been unable to forgive her for soaring alone over a boundary she herself could never bring herself to cross. Unable to forgive that magnificent irresponsibility that had enabled Yong Hai to shuck off social constraints and leave her behind, still a prisoner. And before Yong Hai had broken those bars, she'd never even known they were there. This is In Hai says, before Yong Hai had broken those bars, she'd never even known they were there. I thought that was so beautifully written again.
Very good, actually. She has broken them when she is not aware.
Only when her sister breaks it, she realizes, oh, those bars were there and they are suppressing me too.
Exactly. And these roughly 2-3 quotes are from chapter 3. It is a good chapter.
True.
Last chapter. Yes.
The pain feels like a hole swallowing her up, a source of intense fear, and yet at the same time, a strange, quiet peace. Such uncanny serenity actually frightened him, making him think that perhaps this was a surface impression left behind after any amount of unspeakable viciousness had been digested. or it'll settle down inside her as a kind of sediment.
Wait a minute. It is Pata.
Mm. So these were some references from where I had picked up.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
And there was a last quote actually. She leaves hospital, goes
Uh,
to forest. She
mm.
gets ventured there,
Okay.
making her hands up. Or
Mm.
in hospital where she does a handstand.
Mm.
Handstand.
Yeah. When she says,
Imagining that
yeah,
plant is coming out of her, branches are coming out of her body and all those things.
yeah. That was also
Mm.
it was very sad to read
Ah,
that also. Yeah.
exactly. Surrender to
Hi,
their
Manasvi, would you like to add something? Sorry, Shamal Raoji, were you saying something?
later.
Yeah. Hi, Manasvi or Shivi, would you like to add something? Okay, I'm not sure if they are there. It's okay. Sarat, would you like to add something? I think you've read Snow, right? Not sure.
Surrender to the
Not
Venture in
fully. I
Okay.
read only part of it.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So I thought it was a great read, and I'm so glad actually that we chose the book and we read it.
Small book, but has
Yeah.
message.
Correct. And so Orbital is going to be our next read for the book club.
I also got it once. I was
Yeah.
there. I
So
ordered it. It's come.
oh, it's come. Yeah,
It-
it's pretty short book also.
I
It's
think it must be
136.
there. It is also a small book, actually, Orbital.
Yeah. And I think it's space
it
based
is
on
there.
space, right?
Yeah.
And it's been a
Oh,
long time.
my video is not there. I can't show, but I have it in my hand.
Okay.
It is there. It
Oh,
is there.
very nice.
Small book.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a
We'll
small
have to
book.
take care. I will check up what's the problem.
Yeah.
Small
And
book.
I think the author has in fact thanked NASA, and also I'm very sure it's going to be interesting to read.
Then I read a few pages. I was recollecting Sunita Williams' life.
Oh, yeah.
She is in space, stuck up there.
Yeah.
Her life is at risk. She's
Yeah.
from India. She came to mind. I don't this Orbital, they also do this.
She's come back now, right? They rescued her
No,
safely. No?
not just actually. Our Elon Musk is sending some spaceship to this mission or something. She has not yet come. Who
Not yet come, is it? Oh, I read that he's sending something, so I thought, okay, she must have
That is,
come.
he is sending, he is taking, that is fact. But
Oh,
she has not come.
oh, that's
When you read this book, if you keep it in background, you will feel the sadness actually filtering into your
yeah,
mind. That's
yeah.
what I felt. Orbital, this book. And it is the cover is dominated by color black.
Mm.
Is it so?
Yes. So mine is also like this. Yeah.
Except black
Same.
dominates.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas Hancock's vegetarian is white cover.
Mm.
Our other book is already next month is 16th. We have to plan for the next book then.
Yeah, we should plan for the next book. Any ideas, Shamal Raoji? Maybe I'll
No,
stop the recording.